Axeman of New Orleans, unmasking the enigmatic serial killer. In the early 20th century, the city of New Orleans was gripped by fear as a sinister presence loomed over its streets. Known as the Axeman, this mysterious serial killer struck fear into the hearts of residents with his brutal and seemingly random attacks. The city was plagued by a series of murders that left the community on edge and law enforcement baffled. Our murder mystery delves into the haunting tale of the Axeman, exploring the chilling details surrounding the case and unearthing the truth behind this enigmatic killer. It was a humid evening in New Orleans on May 22, 1918, when the city was thrust into a waking nightmare. Joseph Maggio, a grocer, and his wife Catherine retired to their modest home after a long day's work. Little did they know that darkness was about to descend upon them. In the dead of night, a malevolent presence slipped into their residence unnoticed. Catherine awoke to the sound of a scuffle and rushed to investigate, her heart pounding in her chest. Horror consumed her as she discovered her husband lying lifeless on their bed, his body brutally hacked by an axe. Blood soaked the sheets, seeping into the floorboards as a haunting silence enveloped the room. The Axeman had struck, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable carnage. News of the Maggio murder spread through the city like wildfire. The fear that had gripped New Orleans would only intensify in the months to come. The Axeman seemed to revel in the terror he inflicted, taking pleasure in the power he held over an entire community. And so began the reign of the Axeman, a terrifying era of violence and uncertainty. As the body count continued to rise, a new twist emerged in the Axeman's macabre tale. On March 13, 1919, a letter appeared in the local newspaper, claiming to be from the Axeman himself. Its words sent shivers down the spines of all who read it. Hottest hell awaits you all. When I have good cause, I shall come again and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains of he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish to avoid my bloody axe, I advise you to play jazz music. On the night of March 19, 1919, jazz will be the silver lining protecting you from my wrath. The strains of saxophones, trumpets, and drums will be your shield. If you do not heed my warning, there shall be no mercy, and your fate will be sealed. News of the letter spread rapidly, igniting a frenzy of preparations. The haunting melody of jazz began to seep into the city's veins, transforming its streets into a symphony of sound. March 19th approached with a mixture of trepidation and defiance, as people clung to the hope that music could serve as their salvation. The night arrived, casting its ominous shadow over New Orleans. The air buzzed with anticipation as the vibrant notes of jazz resonated from every corner. Dance halls and homes alike throbbed with the rhythm of saxophones, clarinets, and pianos, creating a barrier of sound against the lurking malevolence. Remarkably, as the night unfolded, no reports of murders crossed the threshold of the police station. It seemed that the Axeman, whether bound by his own twisted code or enticed by the power of jazz, had spared the city from his gruesome intentions. A collective sigh of relief echoed through the community, intermingled with a lingering sense of unease. The Axeman had displayed a tantalizing glimpse of his motivations, leaving behind more questions than answers. The authorities, desperate to put an end to the reign of terror, turned their attention to potential suspects. One name that emerged was Joseph Mumfre, a man with a history of violence and criminal activity. Mumfre had recently relocated to New Orleans and possessed a volatile temperament that caught the attention of law enforcement. Although circumstantial evidence pointed towards Mumfre's involvement, there was not enough to definitively link him to the Axeman murders. Frustration mounted as investigators hit one dead end after another. The elusive killer seemed to taunt them from the shadows, his true identity remaining concealed. As the investigation continued, suspicion cast its wide net, ensnaring individuals from all walks of life. Innocent men found themselves under intense scrutiny, their lives disrupted by the relentless pursuit of justice. The community teetered on the edge of paranoia, desperately searching for answers while the Axeman remained a phantom in the night. It was a warm evening in 1921 when fate intervened, offering a glimmer of hope in the seemingly endless pursuit of the Axeman. Mike Pepitone, a grocer, found himself face to face with a chilling specter. An intruder wielding an axe barged into Pepitone's home with murderous intent. A fierce struggle ensued as Pepitone fought for his life against his assailant. In a moment of sheer will and determination, Pepitone managed to repel the attacker, inflicting injuries that forced the Axeman to retreat into the shadows. Gasping for breath and trembling with adrenaline, Pepitone caught a fleeting glimpse of his would-be killer's face. An image burned into his memory. This encounter would prove to be the turning point in the hunt for the Axeman. Pepitone's detailed description allowed investigators to create a composite sketch of the suspect, offering a ray of hope in an investigation that had seemed hopeless for far too long. In a stunning twist, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. In 1921, authorities received a shocking tip from Los Angeles. Joseph Mumfre, a former prime suspect in the Axeman case, had been murdered. The discovery of Mumfre's body raised eyebrows and opened a new chapter in the investigation. Investigators meticulously compared fingerprints found at Mumfre's crime scene with those collected during the original Axeman investigation. The results were staggering. There was a match. The elusive killer had met his demise, but the revelation that the Axeman was none other than Joseph Mumfre sent shockwaves through the city. The identity of the Axeman had finally been unveiled, yet the questions remained. What drove Mumfre to commit such heinous acts? What motivated him to terrorize an entire community? While the case was officially closed, the scars left by the Axeman's reign of terror would forever linger in the hearts and minds of New Orleans residents. As our murder mystery concludes, the Axeman of New Orleans, the tale of this enigmatic serial killer leaves an indelible mark on history. The Axeman's reign of terror, marked by brutal acts of violence and a chilling cat-and-mouse game with law enforcement, serves as a haunting reminder of the depths of human darkness. Though time has passed since those dark days in New Orleans, the echoes of the Axeman's crimes continue to reverberate. The city has transformed, yet the memory of the victims and the collective trauma experienced by the community remain embedded in its fabric. The unmasking of the Axeman may have brought closure to the case, but it cannot erase the horrors that unfolded. The story of the Axeman stands as a testament to the enduring quest for justice, the resilience of communities in the face of unimaginable fear, and the relentless pursuit of truth in the face of darkness. Subscribe to our channel for more chilling tales. Join us and stay haunted.